evening and welcome to the Monday, March 9th, 2026 regular meeting of the City of Burbank Planning Commission. Before we begin our meeting, there will be one general period of public comment tonight during oral communications. Persons speaking during the general public comment period may provide the Planning Commission oral communication on any matter concerning city business. Members of the public may comment in person or by telephone during the general public hearing public comment periods. If you would like to participate in the public comment period by making an in-person comment, please present a completed speaker card to planning staff. If you would like to participate in the public comment period by telephone, please call 818-238-3335. We will announce when the phone lines are open. Please join me in a moment of reflection. This moment is intended to begin the meeting with a positive and collective support for our beloved community. The Planning Commission welcomes everyone joining us this evening. We encourage you to take a moment to reflect on our community and the work we will be doing tonight. While each of us has our own unique reasons for being here, we are united in our passion for our wonderful city. As we pause, let us consider our own individual contributions and what they may mean to those around us. Let us find solace in knowing that by working together with a shared spirit of community and partnership, we will always act responsibly for the betterment of Burbank. Will everyone please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Madam Clerk, may we please have a roll call?
Chair Wick.
Present.
Vice Chair Safarian.
Present.
Commissioner Van Gorder.
Present.
Commissioner Bennett.
I'm here.
And Commissioner Mendez.
Present.
Thank you.
Do we have any announcements from city staff this evening?
Chair, we do, and I'll be giving the announcement. The proposed item, a zone text amendment to add a definition to the BMC section 10-1602 for view obstructing fences and to modify the city's applicability thresholds for a hillside development permit to include a view obstructing fence as codified in sections 10-1606 and 10-1607 of the Burbank Municipal Code to include obstructing fences as a project subject to discretionary review within the city's hillside has been canceled, and it will be scheduled at a future date before the commission, but it needs to go before the council first as a follow-up report. So I wanted to just bring that to your attention. So if you saw it on prior agendas as an upcoming item, there's a couple of steps we have to go through before we bring it to you. So just wanted to make sure for you and for the public to be aware of that correction.
Got it. Thank you so much. All right. Are there any more announcements? No, we're good.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Moving on to oral communications. Now is the time for oral communication from the public. Any person speaking during this period may address the commission on any matter concerning city business. Each person may address the Planning Commission for a maximum time of 3 minutes. For members of the public who wish to comment in person, please complete a completed speaker card to the Planning Division. For members of the public that wish to comment by telephone, please call 818-238-3335 to address the Planning Commission. Callers will be placed in a queue until all in-person comments have been received. The phone lines are now open. Please bear with us as it may take a couple of minutes for the first callers to get through the line. For callers, please remember to lower the volume on your TV or computer and take your phone off speaker when you deliver public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers here tonight or callers on the line?
I have no speakers or callers.
Okay. We'll give it a minute. Clearly, everybody wanted to talk about fences now. Nothing. All right. Seeing there being no public comment, I now declare the public comment period closed. Moving on to item number G, there are 2 public hearing items and 1 report to Planning Commission on tonight's agenda. Now is the time and place for the public hearing project number 25-0005456, a request for a conditional use permit to operate a new amusement enterprise, Sky Zone, at 201 East Magnolia Boulevard, Unit 100. The project is zoned Plan Development 89-4 and has a general plan use designation of downtown commercial. Before we begin, do any planning commissioners have any legal, financial, or conflict of interest relating to this hearing?
No.
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 And no. Hearing 5 no's. All right, have any commission members had any communications, including written or oral, with any person about this project?
No.
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 No. All right. Mr. Ramirez, have the notices as required by law been given?
Yes, they have.
Are there any written communications on this matter?
No, there are no written communications.
Thank you. Will the representative of the Community Development Department please introduce yourself and summarize the matter before us tonight?
Hello. May I have the slides, please? Thank you. Good evening, Chair Wick and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Eduardo Rendon, Assistant Planner with the Burbank Community Development Department. This evening, staff are presenting an application for a conditional use permit project number 25005456 for a new amusement enterprise use named Sky Zone that is proposing to occupy a currently vacant tenant space, Unit 100, located at 201 East Magnolia Boulevard at the existing Burbank Town Center Mall. The business representative of Sky Zone, Ms. Amber Mata, is here tonight and will be available for questions that the Planning Commission may have after the presentation. The project site is located along East Magnolia Boulevard between North San Fernando Boulevard and North First Street. Sky Zone is proposing to occupy an approximately 32,160 square foot tenant space within the Burbank Town Center Mall. On this aerial map, the proposed tenant space is outlined in red, while the Burbank Town Center Mall property is highlighted in blue. The project site is surrounded by commercial and planned development mixed uses. The proposed project will be located within the Planned Development 89-4 zone. The general plan designation for the project site is downtown commercial. On this slide, the photo on the left shows a view of the project site from the parking driveway looking southeast. The photo on the right shows the view of the project site from East Magnolia Boulevard looking northwest. Yes. The photos here are of the interior tenant space. The left photo shows a view from the entrance of the tenant space looking southeast towards the rear emergency exit, while the right photo shows a view from the rear location of the tenant space looking northwest towards the main entrance of the tenant space. On this slide, the photo on the left shows the intersection of North First Street and East Magnolia Boulevard looking southwest towards the Golden State Freeway. The photo on the right shows a view of East Magnolia Boulevard looking northeast towards San Fernando Boulevard. As previously noted, the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to allow the establishment of a proposed amusement enterprise use in a 32,160 square foot tenant space within the Burbank Town Center Mall. The proposed amusement enterprise use will operate as Sky Zone, an indoor trampoline park and family entertainment center. The facility will feature a climate-controlled indoor recreation space designed for active play and group events. Attractions will include interconnected trampolines, foam pits, basketball dunk courts, slides, swings, and designated jumping zones. Additional amenities will include an arcade area, multiple private partition party rooms for children's birthday parties and other special events, a food and beverage service kitchen area, and the retail sale of Sky Zone branded merchandise. The kitchen is not a standalone use and will not be open to the general public as a separate dining establishment. As such, the kitchen functions solely as an accessory amenity that enhances the visitor experience rather than operating as an independent restaurant use. The project was reviewed for compliance with Plan Development 89-4 zone, and it is staff's assessment that, subject to conditions of approval, the project complies with all applicable requirements. The hours of operation for the amusement enterprise use are going to be Monday through Thursday between 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday to Sunday from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. This slide shows the existing floor plan. The main entrance is located southwest of the lot and accessible through the access road that leads to the parking structure from North First Street. The existing 32,160 square foot tennis space has an open floor space with no partitions and contains a restroom. The applicant is proposing tenant improvements to an existing 32,160 square foot tenant space. The scope of the improvements include new partitions shown here on this slide. The proposed party rooms are shown in blue. Restrooms are shown in yellow. The kitchen storage areas shown in light blue. The seating area shown in purple. An event office space shown in gray. And the lobby retail area shown in red. The area shown in green is the game area, which is intentionally designed as an open space with no partitions and include the entirety of the entertainment playground. No new square footage is proposed, and all improvements will occur within the existing building. The public was notified in accordance with the Burbank Municipal Code. This includes the required newspaper notice, public noticing of all occupants and owners within 1,000 feet of the project site, and notice displayed on the property. Staff has not received any comments from the public for this project. Based on staff's assessment, this project qualifies for a categorical exemption from the California Environmental Quality Act of CEQA under existing facilities section 15301, subsection A, class 1 pertaining to operation, permitting, and minor alterations of an existing facility. As part of staff's review of the request for a conditional use permit, the project was reviewed for consistency with the Burbank 2035 general plan, the applicable zoning regulations, and the required conditional use permit findings pursuant to BMC section 10-1-1936, as detailed in staff's report and attached resolution. Further, the project will operate in compliance with the recommended conditions of approval to ensure ongoing compatibility with the surrounding land uses as outlined in the report to the Commission. It is staff's assessment that subject to the conditions of approval, the project complies with all applicable requirements. In conclusion, staff recommends a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Burbank approving a conditional use permit project number 25-0005456 to operate a new amusement enterprise use Sky Zone at 201 East Magnolia Boulevard, Unit 100, subject to the conditions of approval. This concludes staff's presentation, and staff is available for any questions the commission may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will now invite the applicant or their representative to address the Planning Commission. You will have a maximum time of 15 minutes.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Amber Mattis. I'm here on behalf of Sky Zone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. Burbank has an excellent parks and recreation system with numerous parks, ball fields, and community facilities that provide important programming for residents. Those spaces serve organized sports, camps, and structured recreation very well. Where many communities often have less coverage is in informal indoor recreation spaces that families and teens can access during evenings and weekends. Facilities like Sky Zone provide a safe, supervised environment where young people can be active and families can gather year-round, complementing the city's existing recreation programs. National youth studies show that more than 11 million children in the United States are unsupervised between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., which highlights the importance of having positive, active destinations during those hours where families can gather. Burbank is also home to a large entertainment industry workforce where many families work non-traditional hours. Flexible recreation spaces that are open evenings and weekends can be especially valuable to those families. I also want to briefly address safety, which is understandably important. Any recreation facility needs to focus on safety. Sky Zone operates under nationally recognized standards and designs its attractions to meet and exceed ASTM industry standards. Each activated attraction operates with its own dedicated court, which allows staff to actively monitor and manage activity with its individual court monitors. The park is staffed with those trained court monitors, and they are all trained in first aid and CPR with AED devices located on site. In addition, our facilities undergo inspections above and beyond what the local AHJs and state regulations require and have independent safety evaluations regularly. To ensure that the park remains safe and well-maintained, the company's safety record is also reflected in its ability to secure some of the most competitive insurance rates in the industry. I think that speaks to the industry as a whole, that we pay the lowest rates for Sky Zone. I'd also like to touch on the fuel zone as a component of the facility. It's not intended to function as a standalone restaurant open to the public. It's an accessory concession amenity that is subordinate and incidental to the primary indoor recreation use, serving only guests who are already participating in scheduled activities at the facility, particularly during birthday parties and time jump sessions. Finally, projects like this are also a strong example of adaptive reuse of large commercial space that would otherwise remain vacant, bringing consistent community activity into commercial areas in a way that supports both local families and surrounding businesses. Ultimately, this is about providing families and young people in Burbank with a safe, active place to spend time together, something that complements the city's park system while strengthening the community fabric. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I'm happy to answer any additional questions you might have about the operations.
Thank you so much. We may have questions for you in a bit, but we'll move on to comments from the public first. All right, we will now open the meeting to hear from any persons who wish to speak on this matter. Each person may address the Planning Commission for a maximum time of 3 minutes. For members of the public who wish to comment in person, please present a completed speaker card to planning staff. Please complete to planning staff. If you wish to call in, by telephone, please call 818-238-3335 to address the Planning Commission. Callers will be placed in a queue until all in-person comments have been received. The phone lines are now open. Please bear with us as it may take a couple of minutes for the first callers to get through the line. For callers, please remember to lower the volume on your TV or computer and take your phone off speaker when you deliver public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers here tonight or callers on the line? We do. Great. Our first speaker is Carson Kennerly. Carson? No? Is that for?
He's our architectural representative.
Okay.
He put a card in case there were code questions.
Got it. Okay. And Greg, it's same thing. Okay. Amber, same thing. Okay. No problem. No, I got all excited, think we were going to have public comment. All right. Do we have any callers on the line?
I do not have any callers.
Okay. There being no further public comment on this item, I now declare the public comment period closed. Would the representative of the Community Development Department like to make any further comments?
No comments.
Okay. Does the applicant or their representative wish to make any further comments? You have a maximum time of 10 minutes. I'm seeing a no from the audience. Does the commission have any questions of staff or the applicant? No questions? All right. Shall we entertain a motion then?
I'd like to speak at least a little bit first.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought that I didn't mean to brush over you. I'm sorry. All right, Commissioner Van Gordon.
Yeah, I think this is such a slam dunk. I have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, and one of my absolute favorite things to do with my 7-year-old daughter is to take her to the Sky Zone in North Hollywood. It is directly next to the airport. So it's a destination amenity. It's in a business park. There's nothing else around it that's appropriate for families. I think it's light industrial or manufacturing in this park. So the people who go there go just for the Sky Zone. And it's always full. So I think that putting it in our downtown next to all the other amenities, restaurants, next to a movie theater, next to a Round One, this could be a real asset to the community. That is all.
Thank you. Anyone else? I completely agree with you, Commissioner Van Gorder. I think that it's great that we're having new businesses come into Burbank. I don't have kids, so I'm not as familiar with the Sky Zone as you, but I will take your word for it. And I also love too that we are adding something to a space in the mall that is not being used right now, and the fact that it has an outdoor entrance, I think that families will appreciate that, and so I am for this project as well. Are there any further comments? Please. Oh,
I'd love to make a motion to adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission approving a conditional use permit, project number 25-0005456, subject to the conditions of approval.
I will second the motion.
thank you so much. Any further deliberation from the Planning Commission? No. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Chair Wick,
Yes.
Vice Chair Safarian,
Yes.
Commissioner Van Gorder,
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett,
Yes.
and Commissioner Mendez.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion
Great.
passes.
Thank you so much. Welcome to Burbank. All right. Moving on to item number 2. Now is the time and place for the public hearing of project number 25-0005456, a request for a conditional use permit to operate a new restaurant/drinking establishment use, Flow Wine and Coffee, that allows for the sale and consumption of beer and wine on and off the premises located at 325 North First Street, Suite 101. The project site is zoned Plan Development 14-01 and has a general planned land use designation of downtown commercial. Before we begin, do any planning commission members have any legal, financial, or any other conflict of interest relating to this hearing?
No.
Nope.
No.
No, so hearing 5 no's on that. Have any planning commission members had any communication, including written or oral, with any person regarding this project?
No.
Nope.
No.
No. All right, hearing 5 no's on that as well. Mr. Ramirez, have the notices required by law been given?
Yes, they have.
All right, are there any written communications on this matter?
We have not received any written communications on this item.
Thank you so much. Will the representative of the Community Development Department please introduce yourself and summarize the matter before us this evening?
Hello. Can I have the presentation, please? Good evening, Chair Wick and members of the Commission. My name is Joanna Valencia. I'm an assistant planner with the Community Development Department's Planning Division. For your consideration today is a project number 24-0005692, a conditional use permit request to allow a restaurant/drinking establishment use, Flow Wine and Coffee, at 325 North First Street. The project representative is John Cambianca on behalf of the business owners. The project site is located on the corner of North First Street and East Palm Avenue, as highlighted in yellow on this aerial photograph as shown. The project site is located within the Plan Development 14-1 zone and within the Downtown Commercial General Plan Land Use Designation as part of Burbank 2035. Shown here are photos illustrating the front entrance and parking garage. On the right, you will see the tenant space within the existing mixed-use building. On the top left image is a close-up of the entrance, and at the lower left corner is the parking entrance located along East Palm Avenue. The project site is centrally located within the downtown commercial area. Shown here are recent photos of the existing conditions of the surrounding land uses along North First Street and between East Palm Avenue and East Magnolia. View 1 on the corner of North First Street and East Palm is a professional use office illustrated at the top right-hand corner. View 2, looking northwest towards East Magnolia, shows First Street Village and the collection, both mixed-use buildings with existing commercial along North First Street at the lower right-hand corner. Similar to View 2, View 3 is an image looking northeast towards East Palm Avenue, again illustrating the collection and First Street Village, shown here at the top right-hand corner. And View 4 was taken from right outside the proposed use, looking northeast. And that will be illustrated at the bottom right-hand corner. In general, the proposed use is surrounded by restaurants, retail, and entertainment uses within the downtown commercial area. Shown here is the existing site plan, highlighting the project tenant space and parking garage. Illustrated here is the current condition of the space. Minor interior alterations have been reviewed for the proposed use as a separate plan check process. And here you will see the proposed floor plan. The scope of work includes an addition of a bathroom, new partitions, coffee food counter area, and seating area. All work proposed was reviewed by various city departments and divisions and approved by the Building and Safety Division under plan check. The project description. The proposed business, Flow Wine and Coffee, is a restaurant drinking establishment that will offer coffee, teas, pastries, a small bites food menu, and beer and wine. The business will operate from 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, Friday and Saturday from 6:30 a.m. to midnight, with alcohol sales beginning at noon Monday through Friday and at 9 a.m. on the weekends. The last call for alcohol orders is set at 30 minutes prior to closing. The project request will contribute to the growing businesses within the downtown commercial land use area, which serves the surrounding neighborhood. The public was notified in accordance with the Burbank Municipal Code. This includes the required newspaper notice, public noticing of all occupants and owners within 1,000 feet of the project site, and a notice displayed on the property. Staff has not received any public concerns for the proposed request. Based on staff's assessment, the project qualifies for a categorical exemption from the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, under Section 15301, subsection A, Class 1, pertaining to operation, permitting, and minor alteration of an existing facility. The project staff finds that the project is exempt from CEQA, is consistent with the general plan and the city's zoning regulations, and satisfies the required findings for a CUP under BMC Section 10-1, 1936. Therefore, staff is recommending that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission approving Project 24-000-5692, subject to the conditions of approval. This concludes my presentation. Staff, the applicant, and the business owners are available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will now invite the applicant or their representative to address the Planning Commission. You will have a maximum time of 15 minutes to make your presentation.
Hi, good evening, commissioners. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh,
Don't be nervous.
I think I'm just excited that we're here doing this. My name's Ariel Nicastro. I'm one of the owners of Flow Wine and Coffee, along with one of my oldest friends, Vince. I have lived in Burbank for close to 15 years, and over that time, the city has truly become home to me. I'm from the Appalachian Mountains, so a community-oriented place is probably my most important thing in searching for a home in LA. I've built my life, my friendships, everything here, and I hope to continue putting deep roots here and eventually raising a family. And opening Flow is more than just a starting point for myself and for my partner. We want to contribute in a very meaningful way to the community, and to a community that has given us already so much. We are looking to have a cafe that is not just for coffee in the morning, but also a place that can transition into wine. Both of us have our W sets, and we're very like wine knowledgeable people, but we also love coffee. And we just want to find a place that is a very relaxed setting for residents, workers, visitors of Burbank, places that they can sit down and connect. And we hope that our place becomes that, and not just for the people of Burbank, but for the residents themselves. We would really like for a place to be somewhere that they're proud to be in their building, that they can make it like their second living room. That's very important to us. We want to be very respectful to them. I'm excited to bring a place to the community that's a vacant spot. I think that it is such a great contribution to what's already in that building in particular. With the businesses in the neighborhood. And yeah, we're looking for, our concept is low-key, community-focused. We won't have any live music. We're not going to be crazy. We want to have a space that is family-friendly and a warm place for Burbank residents and the community itself. That is just the most important part to us. Yeah, so thank you so much, and thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much. We will now open the meeting to hear from any persons who wish to speak on the matter. Each person may address the Planning Commission for a maximum time of 3 minutes. For members of the public who wish to comment in person, please present a completed speaker card to planning staff. If you wish to speak by telephone, please call 818-238-3335 to address the Planning Commission. Callers will be placed in a queue until all in-person comments have been received. The phone lines are now open. Please bear with us as it may take a couple of minutes for the first callers to get through the line. For callers, please remember to lower the volume on your TV or computer, or take your phone off speaker when you deliver public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers here tonight or callers on the line?
I don't have any speakers here, but I'm waiting to check on the callers.
Okay.
We have no callers.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right. We're good? Okay. There being no further public comment on this item, I now declare the public comment period closed. Would the representative of the Community Development Department like to make any further comments?
No.
Okay. Does the applicant or their representative wish to make any further comments this evening? I'm seeing no. Okay. Does the commission have any questions for staff or the applicant?
I do.
Please, Commissioner Safarian, or Vice Chair Safarian, excuse me.
It's okay. I do want to say I'm really excited. I think we definitely need more establishments like this in Burbank, and so happy that you guys are planning on doing this here. I did have a couple questions. My first question was if, from what I remember, I think this is all going to be conducted indoors, or are you guys also applying for sidewalk, like dining permit as well?
They will have an outdoor area that's limited, and they do have to obtain the appropriate requirements with the Public Works Department.
Will it be in the front?
It's in the
right?
front, yes.
Okay, and then do you know how many seats that's limited at?
I don't have a specific number, no.
Okay, just fine.
I can,
No, it's okay. I'm just curious if it's going to be, kind of like if everyone's going to be, if there are going to be many seats outside and people are drinking, or if it's going to be limited for outside when it's just the coffee portion, or both, or I was just curious on how many people to expect outside on the sidewalk drinking. And
I can look at the square footages on the floor plan, and let me see if I can give you a specific answer.
Okay, and then the parking, I believe you mentioned parking, it's a part of the building already. It was like 266 spots, right, for the retail?
So for the retail, it's actually, I believe, 30.
30?
Yes, the project site contains 30 retail parking spaces.
For just this establishment, or for all the retail?
It's for all the retail. It's
Oh.
a shared parking for the retail. When the property was developed, the First Street Village project,
Okay.
the requirement was 30 for the retail.
Okay, and is the parking, you would just enter the lot from the side and it's free parking for the people who are going to be using?
Correct. It is free
retail
parking
spaces.
for the retail patrons.
Okay, great. And then I'll just wait to hear
Yes,
for the
let-
outdoor. I'm just curious, but I don't know if that's not gonna make or break what I think about, the decision,
I
but.
believe, if we can look at the presentation under the proposed floor plan. It is on slide 9. And you'll notice that it's at the front, and based off of this floor plan, it's just, right now, it's limited to about 4 different seating areas. I'm sorry I didn't highlight it, but it's
It's by the
right by
trees?
the entrance, past in between those 2 seats. That area outside, yeah.
Okay, great.
And sorry for not highlighting it.
No,
So
it's
you'll have
okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm counting 7 seating, different seating areas,
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much.
of course.
I have a question about the parking.
Commissioner Van Gorder?
Thank you. I didn't want her to get all the way back down to her seat. I've been in that building. It could be tough to park in that I recall the spaces as being, the signs out there saying, this parking space only for, was it like a boot camp over there? Yeah, okay. Is there will there be assigned parking spaces that are exclusive to Flow, or is there another unassigned pool elsewhere in that building that people are going to be able to use?
Do you guys have any?
Chair, if we can have the applicant come up, I think John Campionica, the project architect, probably be able to answer that question.
So hi, I'm John Cambianica. So there's, the commercial parking is reserved for commercial uses, and there's 30 parked at 5 per thousand. There's not another food court in that building, though. It's, actually, we're real happy to have this food and wine business come in, because we just had a hard time getting restaurants. They're kind of just skittish right now, but yeah, they're right next to the lobby, and then there's Hardcore Fitness on the other side of them.
Cool, thank you.
Okay. Any other
And
questions?
there's
for me?
also the parking structure across the street, which can be utilized, right? So I feel like parking shouldn't be an issue.
All right.
Yeah, there is public parking across the street, but this project is parked entirely per code. There's over 200 spaces in the building.
Yeah, that's what I saw in the report. That's why I was curious, but yeah, no, you're
Along
right.
with I think there's 30-something guest parking spaces in addition to that as well. So there's
Great.
a lot of parking in there.
Chair, if I may, since I worked with John on this project when I first got here, the parking is kind of unbundled, so it is shared by all the commercial tenants. So with the ebbs and flows, depending on the use and availability, the landlord is able to kind of make adjustments to the parking availability. There's also a pathway between the two buildings that has access, so I guess if there's some overflow, that other facility is available too, to a certain extent.
That's correct. There's another 30 spaces in the second phase next door that are allocated towards commercial as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any further questions? Please, Commissioner Bennett.
Sure, just had a quick question for staff. I noticed that the application is dated November a year ago, so about 15 months ago. Were there any specific delays in processing this application over that time?
There was just changes in the project scope. Originally, it was going to be a different use application, and then after different conversations, they come up with this business model.
Okay.
And so that's why it
So it's
did-
almost like a couple of different applications in one to some extent.
correct.
Gotcha. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Any further questions? All right. I just have a quick.
Oh, please.
No.
I have a couple questions for the applicant. Thank you. That outdoor seating, as you've proposed it, is directly next to like a 4 or 5 lane, like a main street there. How is there going to be any noise abatement so people can sit there, have a conversation with their coffee and or wine without the hiss of cars blasting past?
No other abatement is planned. That parkway is about 22 feet wide with a double row of street trees. And that portion of seating is tucked close against the tenant space, and it's on private property.
Chair, if I may, just, so this particular development is, 2 phases have been built. There's a 3rd phase still pending on the same side of the street. There's also some additional road calming improvements that are being planned along First Street. So one, this building, I don't know if you recall back in the day before it was built, you could hear the freeway all the way right up to the collection. And now these 2 buildings have actually created somewhat of a sound wall from the freeway. We're anticipating that as we see more development occurring on First Street, you'll continue to kind of get kind of a much more pedestrian-oriented feel along that street. And with some of the bulb outs and reductions that are envisioned along the street, continuation of the elevated bike lane, we're hoping further east, that it will change kind of the overall feeling of that space. There's also a paseo space in between the 2 buildings that John is working on developing, as well as a pocket park off of what used to be Bonniewood Terminus, adjacent to the bridge. So as those things go in and the additional improvements occur, I think we'll kind of get to where you're kind of thinking of, and that is a contemplative space where people can go hang out, have a cup of coffee, and within designated areas have wine. There, on the larger exhibit that we had for the First Street Village, we showed seating all the way down the entire corridor. So we're kind of also hoping that over time you'll get other areas for people to sit on their lunch break or as they're kind of going to one of these spaces to be outside. So it's a snapshot in time because it's only these 2 sites that have been developed. But the hope is that eventually people will bike over there, use the pocket park, go to some of these venues as we see additional interest. Then hopefully we'll start getting some of these eateries that we also planned for and got approved actually for some of the spaces. They just haven't come to fruition yet. But we're optimistic as the building continues to increase in occupancy that we'll see that transition into those uses. So point well taken.
I might have misunderstood your original question. I thought you were talking about noise from First Street, and yeah, there's been a lot of mitigation measures for the freeway noise. The buildings all have dual glaze. The units all have dual glaze glass with argon gas between the glazing, and there's sound walls and whatnot.
I was talking about First Street, so we're good. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Thank you.
and Fred's correct. The buildings do shield a lot of that noise as well from the freeway.
Thank you.
Okay.
I actually have a quick question for you as well, sir. Or possibly for staff, I'm not sure which one. So Exhibit D1, it says that Flow Wine and Coffee will operate as a cafe in the morning from 3 p.m. to the afternoon, serving espresso-based beverages and a selection of food. After 3 p.m., the venue will close and transition to a wine bar. And then I'm seeing on Exhibit A7, under the conditions, item number 13, it lists the alcohol hours as noon on. And so I was just curious about the discrepancy. If this was, as we found out, possibly from the old project, I just wanted to verify what the alcohol hours will be.
Yes, so part of the original request was to only be coffee in the mornings and alcohol in the afternoons. but the applicants and the business owners can explain further as to the changes that happen. But the final resolution is the required, the proposed business. And you'll notice in the staff report too, that we did note that between the hours in 3 and 4, the business will have more of a turnover transition period where they'll be turning more into that wine bar. They'll still have their coffee and food preparation, but they're not closing entirely.
Okay.
They just, and they can speak on it further. They didn't want to close the doors if someone's sitting in their business.
I think the 12 o'clock time slot was inserted in there to accommodate lunch hour with wine.
Sure. All right. And then this is a couple questions just for the applicant, if you don't mind, whoever wants to come up. And this is just more out of curiosity. Are you going to be serving coffee in the evening as well? So can someone have coffee, or is it strictly?
Absolutely, yeah. All of our staff that we've hired thus far, including myself and Vince, who will always be there, we all know how to work the machine, and yeah, coffee will be available.
All right. And will food be available until close as well?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a cold kitchen situation, so there's going to be small bites, charcuterie boards, flatbreads of that nature, things that we can, pasta salads and such.
Okay, and then a final question for me, and I ask this of every alcohol permit applicant, so please don't think that I'm, ganging up on you or anything.
Okay.
As far as what kind of training are you giving your staff in terms of if anybody has a little bit too much to drink or anybody gets unruly? Probably not happening at a wine bar, but
you never
just
know.
if you could speak to that.
Absolutely. All of the staff that we have hired, everyone is ABC certified. What is the RBS? Yes, exactly. They all have that certification. And as well, all of them have worked in the industry for a good part of the decade. So they all have experience dealing with people who are too intoxicated and how we won't serve them. And the security issue, that wouldn't be a problem for them. Absolutely.
Great.
If I may.
Please.
That's me. We did add a condition on the staff report that there will be no overserving of alcohol and bartend for any person that looks intoxicated.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And I do want to add as well that it really isn't the intention of the place itself. We want it to be more of a sit-down establishment rather than like a bar. Yeah.
Understood.
Thank you.
Are there any further questions for staff or the applicant? Commissioner Van Gorder.
One more
Yes,
for you.
please.
You mentioned, 1.5. What's a WSAT? You said it real fast.
So it's kind of a SOM prereq. The WSET is more for service industry, whereas the SOM is more presentation. So both of us, the people who distribute wine, they more so have a WSET rather than a SOM certification. It's just another acronym for the same thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then you mentioned also you were trying to appeal to families. How do you intend to appeal to families with small children?
Sure. For wine and coffee, or one in
Yeah, I mean,
for both.
Yeah.
We are going to implement a baby chino. Have you heard of those before?
No.
Oh, your kids would love them. Yes.
I'm sure that's
It's very
true.
big in Australia, apparently. It's just steamed milk. So it'll be very kid-friendly as well. As you could tell, my partner has a small child, and I hope to one day too. So, yeah, we want it to be family-friendly, but still an elevated setting that is still, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Mature. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any further questions? No further questions. All right. I now declare the public hearing closed and the Planning Commission will now deliberate. What is the Planning Commission's pleasure?
I can do the motion.
Please.
Motion to approve a conditional use permit for project number 24-0005692, subject to the conditions of approval.
All right. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
All right. Do we have any further comments? All right. I just wanted to say I support this project. I think it's great. I think that It serves a portion of, the population, young families that are looking to get out. And I know that we've had a lot of emphasis on third spaces recently, and this could be a great third space. So that's all I have to say. We have a motion and a second. Anything else?
No, super excited. Welcome.
I
We should vote.
I will just about, thank you. I was just about to call the roll. I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak. May we please have a roll call?
Chair Wick?
Yes.
Vice Chair Saparian?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Gorder?
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Mendez?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Welcome. I think you're going to have some very excited planning commissioners at your establishment.
Not at the same time.
No, there are no Brown Act violations, we promise. Yes, all right. All right, we will move on. Now is the time for reports from city staff. There is one report to the commission to provide comments on the Media District Specific Plan Update Policy document. In addition, tonight's report provides an opportunity for the city to receive public comments on the draft environmental impact report. The meeting is being held during the 45-day public review period for the EIR that started on February 7th, 2026 and will end on March 23rd, 2026. Before we begin, do any planning commission members have any legal, financial, or any other conflict of interest relating to this hearing?
No.
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 No. No, hearing 5 no's. Have any planning commission members had any communications, including written or oral, with any person about this project?
No.
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 Commissioner Saparian, no?
No.
Okay. I'm hearing 4 no's. I just wanted to put on the record that Friday afternoon, I did receive a text message on my personal cell phone from Unite Here Local 11. They received my number from voter registration, and they asked me for a meeting regarding this before tonight. I let them know that I encourage them to come to the Planning Commission meeting or provide public comment, which they have. I did not meet with them off the record, and I submitted the text chain to the city attorney. So that's my disclosure. All right, moving on. Will the representative from the Community Development Department please summarize the matter before us tonight?
May I have the presentation, please? Good evening, Chair Wick and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Amanda Landry. I'm a principal planner with our CDD Planning. I'm the city's project manager for the Media District Specific Plan Update, or MDSP. And I have with me David Kim, senior planner. Tonight we'll be presenting the 3rd Media District Specific Plan study session to the Planning Commission. The project is a city effort with joint funding from the city and the Southern California Association of Governments, or SCAG. Aside from David and myself, the MDSP Update project team also includes other city staff listed here, as well as outside expert consultants. The Media District is one of the city of Burbank's most developed neighborhoods. This compact 544-acre area is at the southwestern edge of the city, adjacent to Toluca Lake. It's home to major businesses, including entertainment and companies, as well as residential, educational, medical, and recreational uses. Its proximity to the regional amenities and robust employment and transit opportunities make it an ideal location for residential development. The MDSP update has been guided by the 3 overarching goals noted here on the screen of contextual development, transit-oriented growth, and streamlined housing production. Our team came before the Planning Commission several times to give the Commission updates on the project and solicit feedback. The last time we came before you was in October of 2024 to give a complete overview of the publicly released administrative draft and the initial City Council and public feedback. In the time since, the project team has revised the plan to address some of the public feedback and completed the mandatory environmental analysis. Tonight, we will walk the Commission through the recent changes to the administrative draft and provide an overview of the Draft Environmental Impact Report, or EIR, before opening time to receive public comments on the draft EIR. The administrative draft was first released in June of 2024. In the time since, the team received significant and productive feedback from the public and other immediate district-specific plan area stakeholders. And we held 2 public workshops and had many one-on-one meetings and conversations. Based on the feedback that we received, the project team engaged the services of Dudek, a professional planning and urban design company with extensive experience working in the Burbank community. And Dudek is helping us to edit and revise the draft plan with a focus on the objective development standards. In addition to the work by Dudek, the project team collaborated with the Burbank Water and Power Department and the Public Works Department to update the state-mandated infrastructure chapter to more accurately describe available city infrastructure resources. The project team also significantly updated the required implementation chapter to be more specific and detailed as to the future action items needed to fully implement the plan once it is adopted. All these changes were presented to the City Council this past November of 2025. At this time, the revised administrative draft is available for public review, and this review period will coincide with a review of the draft EIR. The policies, intent, and goals of the administrative draft of the MDSP update remain unchanged. However, as part of the revisions to the administrative draft, we took the opportunity to reorganize the content of the plan so that's easier to navigate and be more user-friendly. This structure and organization will also generally be aligned with how the other in-process specific plans are structured. So Chapter 6, which is the land use and zoning chapter, was revised to be more user-friendly. This chapter includes content that was previously combined with the development standards, but it was excerpted into this chapter to focus on the connection between the planning document and the Burbank 2035 general plan. And this was done to reinforce that the effort is consistent with the general plan. This chapter clarifies that the existing MDSP zoning designations are being retained. However, their purpose has shifted from traditional zoning with assigned development standards to be a way for the city to designate what uses are appropriate in certain areas. So it only is used to look at land uses. This chapter also includes an updated use list. This has been extensively modified with the intent to allow for greater flexibility and to be responsive to changing economic conditions. As the Commission may be aware, the media industry has been in flux for several years, and we want to be prepared for whatever comes. Chapter 7 is the development standards chapter, and this chapter has been revised, and it reflects the extensive work that was completed, particularly to the objective development standards, which were overhauled in response to some community feedback. The project team was careful to maintain the original community-driven intent behind the objective development standards, but eliminated or significantly revised complex or confusing strategies. Overall, the development standards continue to focus on providing simple and clear strategies to develop contextually appropriate buildings, protect the privacy of adjacent properties, and enhance architectural design. Dudek was also able to develop a clear set of graphics to accompany the objective development standards, and this will help staff provide better customer service to prospective developers and explain concepts to nearby residents. For example, as you can see here on this slide, we modified the approach to setbacks to utilize a more streamlined approach rather than the prior overly complex neighborhood designation strategy. And the improved graphics provide better guidance on how to meet the development standards. And you can see on this slide guidance on how to address the facade modulation and setbacks. And here are examples of improved graphics on how to appropriately articulate the building facades and the ground floors so that the buildings better interact with the street. This chapter also includes revised parking regulations. The parking analysis was a significant city-led effort, and this was done in conjunction with the other ongoing specific plans. David actually helped to lead this effort, and the intent behind these parking regulations is to more appropriately correlate various permitted land uses with parking requirements. Previous iterations of our code didn't really closely tie those together. And it also takes into consideration the extensive state laws that impact parking. The infrastructure and implementation chapters have been more fully fleshed out to accurately describe the city's infrastructure. and to more clearly establish what types of development projects would be streamlined under this plan. The implementation chapter also identifies future actions that will be needed to fully realize the goals of the MDSP update. So now I'm going to move into talking about the draft EIR. A specific plan is a discretionary project and is subject to the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA for short, and an environmental impact report, or EIR, is being prepared for this project. The intent of an EIR is to objectively inform public decision makers, such as the Planning Commission or the City Council, and the public about a project's potential environmental effects and possible alternatives to the project and measures to mitigate any adverse impacts. This detailed analysis helps ensure that the environmental impacts are considered before a project is approved. It also provides the public with an opportunity to comment on the project and its potential effects. So after the MDSP update administrative draft was completed in June of 2024, the team worked with our environmental consultant, Rincon, to prepare the technical analysis necessary to complete the EIR. The city has opted to prepare a programmatic EIR, which means that we're setting the environmental impacts of the upper limits of the entirety of the plan policies, actions, and programs, so that the document can be used to streamline future smaller projects by providing a comprehensive broad-level analysis that can be tiered from, which would generally reduce redundant analysis and speed up individual development project approvals. The draft EIR was completed and has been released for a 45-day mandatory public review period. Under the CEQA guidelines, an environmental review requires that we analyze the issue areas listed here. And the EIR provides an analysis for each of these issue areas, but some issues, like agriculture and mineral resources, for example, are not major issues of concern in Burbank. And so therefore, this EIR focuses on issues like air quality, cultural and historic resources, noise, transportation, public services, and utilities. CEQA also requires that we analyze cumulative impacts, growth-inducing impacts, and potential alternatives to the proposed project. Cumulative impacts are incremental impacts of the project when added to other projects that are pending or anticipated in the reasonably foreseeable future. These individual impacts associated with the projects might be minor, but they can be considered cumulatively significant when paired with other projects, which is why we are analyzing these cumulative impacts. For growth-inducing impacts, the document discusses the way in which the updates to the specific plan may foster growth in the city outside of this media district. And CEQA requires that we analyze a reasonable range of alternatives, so we prepared analysis for 3 alternatives, which included no project alternative, the preferred project alternative, and an increased growth alternative. These project alternatives were fully vetted and analyzed, during which the full impact of city services, including infrastructure for water, power, sewer, transportation, and other state-mandated environmental categories, were examined. This programmatic type of review is kind of like a stress test, so the city can understand what public improvements may be needed to accommodate future development, and then use that information to set development impact fees and other development-related requirements. And it can also help decision makers prioritize future capital improvements. We analyzed the impacts associated with each of the alternatives for the project based on the CEQA guidelines, and we provided the setting for existing conditions, also referred to as the baseline condition, and determined if impacts will be below the significance thresholds under the CEQA guidelines. When significant impacts were identified, we considered mitigation measures that will reduce the impacts to a level of less than significant. However, some of the impacts are determined to be significant and unavoidable. In those cases, the decision makers will determine if the benefits of the project outweigh the significant and unavoidable impacts. A significant and unavoidable impact does not mean that the project is dangerous or should be denied. It does mean that there needs to be discussion about trade-offs and whether the benefit outweighs, again, the potential impacts. If the significant impacts are accepted, the City Council will have to make the necessary findings and approve a statement of overriding considerations with certification of the EIR. At this time, the Planning Commission is not being asked to provide a review of the draft EIR or make any decision on it or the project. The purpose of providing this information tonight is to create an opportunity for public to comment on the draft EIR. We are currently within the 45-day window where we can receive comments from the public, to which we will respond in the final EIR or in a recirculated draft of the draft EIR. The Planning Commission will have opportunities to more substantively weigh in on the formal review during the formal review for recommendation to the City Council. So the staff filed the notice of completion and notice of availability for the draft EIR on February 7th, which started the mandatory 45-day public review period. Once that review period is over on March 23rd, the project team will review and prepare responses to all the public comments and prepare a final EIR, or if necessary, recirculate the draft EIR. The project team will also prepare mandatory environmental findings, and if there are any significant impacts, we'll prepare a statement of overriding considerations. Then the EIR will be reviewed by the Planning Commission, followed by the City Council, and a decision will be made. And assuming the specific plan is approved, the project team would file a notice of determination with the county clerk and the state clearinghouse so that there's a state record of final environmental findings for this project. This graphic shows where we are today in the overall process for the MDSP update and what the next steps are to bring the complete package to the City Council for adoption. We've listed the tentative dates here, and we hope to have it generally wrapped up by this summer. Members of the public that are interested in this project are also encouraged to reach out to myself and David. Our contact information is listed on this screen. In addition to the phone calls and emails, staff are also available to meet in person with interested people who can't participate in any planned in-person or virtual events. And we are now available for any comments or questions regarding the revised administrative draft from the Commission. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now open the meeting to hear from any persons who wish to speak on this matter. Each person may address the Planning Commission for a maximum time of 3 minutes. For members of the public who wish to comment in person, please present a completed speaker card to the Planning Division. If you wish to comment by telephone, please call 818-238-3335 to address the Planning Commission. Callers will be placed in a queue until all in-person comments have been received. The phone lines are now open. Please bear with us as it may take a couple of minutes for the first callers to get through the line. For callers, please remember to lower the volume on your TV or computer and take your phone off speaker when you deliver public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers here tonight or callers on the line?
I have no speakers, but one caller.
Oh, okay. Put them through.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, good evening. You're on with the Planning Commission.
Excellent. Good evening. This is Charlie Carter with Unite Here Local 11. Thank you to staff and the Commission for all your hard work on this plan. Unite Here Local 11 continues to recommend that Burbank adopt a development agreement requirement for hotels in the immediate district-specific plan. A development agreement requirement will give the city increased levels of discretion and give tools to ensure each project works with the community. There's a consideration on whether hotels are the best uses for the site, and make sure the city achieves the greatest possible level of community benefits, and make sure that we don't lose opportunities for housing. Glendale has adopted a development agreement requirement for hotels in their downtown specific plan. Santa Monica requires them for large commercial projects in its downtown, and many projects in Burbank have utilized development agreements. For example, the Front Street project, which included housing and a hotel component, as well as projects in the planned development zone by the airport. We encourage the Commission to support a development agreement requirement for hotels and to make sure that at least there's that option for further consideration. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Thank you. Are there any further callers on the line?
No.
Great.
No more callers.
Thank you so much. Would the representative of the Community Development Department like to make any further comments?
Not at this time.
All right. I now declare the item closed and the Planning Commission will now discuss. What is the Planning Commission's pleasure? Commissioner Van Gorder?
Yeah, this is the first of 2 or 3 major specific plan updates, and I know that we've got, we need to think long-term, and I'm thinking about like the Olympics, the big sporting events that are going to be happening here in Los Angeles. Some of the stuff here that I was reading kind of rang true for me. I want to make sure that moving forward, we have a lot of control over any of the larger projects that they might be creating, thinking of the maximum impact, the maximum lodging impacts moment to moment, like planning for maximum parking, the old model with malls, when they plan their parking based on what they assume the max demand would be on Black Friday. I want to make sure that with these big sporting events coming, that we maintain as much control as humanly possible and don't overplan for these big events, especially considering that the media district is one of a few places that can really accommodate larger densities in the city. So I think it's appropriate to talk about a development agreement for hotels in this area.
Okay. Are there any further questions, comments for staff? None? Okay. I just have a quick question for staff. As far as the BRT and SB 79, how does that factor in?
Thank you, Chair. So the BRT is completely separate from the Media District Specific Plan effort. The Media District Specific Plan exists to serve development beyond what might be caused by the BRT, but it hopes to be responsive to any sort of development that comes our way. Staff is still looking at the impacts of SB 79, and at the direction of the City Council, we've been coordinating with our elected officials at the state level to express our concern and need for clarification on some of the points of SB 79, particularly with definitions, to really understand what parts of our city might be impacted by this new law. So that's an ongoing effort.
Got it. And then has there been any consideration to maybe provide density bonuses or something like that for meeting specific requirements? Is that, I'm seeing a yes. Okay.
Yes, yeah. So as part of the Media District Specific Plan, there's an implementation item that specifically refers to an effort to update our density bonus and inclusionary housing ordinance. And that's ongoing and will be before the commission in the near future. And that will talk about additional density bonus incentives, and it's based on a community benefits sort of exchange. So in exchange for providing community benefits, there's an extra allowance for density. So that'll become before the commission at a later date.
Got it. Commissioner Mendez.
Yes, I have a question regarding the BRT. So that was not included in the environmental impact?
So the BRT, the Bus Rapid Transit Project, has its own environmental impact report. So it has a separate environmental study. The Media District Specific Plan studied the growth anticipated under this plan, which is mainly related to the development of housing and some non-residential uses.
I see.
Any further?
So there's nothing like kind of like cross, you know, because obviously it will have an impact. There's going to be more congestion. And if there's more development, you know.
So the BRT.
More congestion. So, you know, I just can't wrap my head around that.
So the BRT has a very extensive environmental impact report that is available for the public to review. The city of Burbank is also in communications with Metro to understand any needs for updates to that environmental impact report as a result of any state laws that are coming online.
Okay, thank you.
Another question for staff.
Commissioner Van Gorder?
I checked the HCD website for permitting, like the I forget what they call it, but the year-to-year update reports on housing development, what's permitted, what's completed, that kind of thing. The most recent data available is from 2024, and the year before that, 2023. We've got 319 permitted projects in 2023, winding up with 88 completed projects without having any very low or extremely low income units coming online there. In 2024, there were 363 units that were permitted. Nearly half of those were for very low income. Can you speak to what made, what led to the success of having so many extremely low income units available coming online in or being permitted in 2024, and how we might be able to replicate some of that coming up with the specific plan here?
So the annual progress reports for the housing element and the general plan are due to the state every April 1st, and actually the city council will be looking at it tomorrow night for the city of Burbank. So a lot of that information will be discussed by the council or considered by the council tomorrow night. Generally speaking, we get a lot of development related to the very low income classification under our ADUs. That's a very popular way to get it. So.
Any further questions, comments? Comments?
Sure, I just wanted, I guess, to respond to the caller and to Commissioner Van Gorder and just say that I disagree. I mean, in general, I think the city should have a very hands-off approach on this development, and that any permitting is a tax on development and growth in this city. So I think that the less hands-on the city is, the more that this city will be allowed to grow and flourish in general. I will not necessarily speak to the specific motivations of Unite here, except just to say that I don't think that the city should impose regulations like they are seeking on hotels, and that we should have ministerial approval on as many projects as possible to allow them to be as streamlined as possible.
Thank you. Any Commissioner Van Gordon?
Yeah, I think that we can all agree that the housing crisis is at the forefront of most people's minds when they think about urban development and city planning and whatnot. I want to make sure that the sites that are available for hotels and that are considered as such, if they are developable as hotels, it's entirely possible that they could also be developable as housing, as really dense housing, and or some sort of hybrid of some of it lodging, some of it permanent. I think that a development agreement might give tools to future consideration so that we can have the conversation of how can we make sure that we have the appropriate kind of housing on these sites. Yeah, I'm concerned about an Olympic-sized response in our development scheme. I don't necessarily want to have a blank check for a hotelier to be able to create whatever they want when it might not be appropriate for the local community. Especially, we've seen where when we don't have as much control over a site, how that can turn into the local community really railing against it not being appropriate. So that's all.
We're good? Yep. All right. Any further questions, comments? Right. I'll say that this is either the second or third time I've had this presentation. I just see it getting better each time, easier to understand each time, because I know this is a really meaty document, and I really hope and encourage the public to read it. I know it's dense, but I encourage the public to read it and really communicate with your elected officials, with staff, because this impacts the city for the next generation. And so I very much encourage participation in this. All right. With that being said, do we need to note and file this, or are we just moving on?
I think we've gotten the feedback that we needed, so yeah, just a note for the record, we'll note and file
All right.
the report, As Amanda mentioned, if you have any further questions while you're going through it and even before it comes back to you, by all means, feel free to reach out to David and Amanda, and your input will be as much appreciated as the public. We want to continue to encourage the public, since this period of time is still open, that even if they were unable to attend or they're watching it, that they also reach out to us and provide us with that additional feedback. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now is the time for approval of minutes from the February 23rd, 2026 Planning Commission meeting. Are there any questions, comments, and/or a motion?
Yes, I have a critical change needs to be made to the minutes.
Please.
My name is misspelled in one particular place, and I cannot let that go by.
I'm
So
sorry
if
about that.
I understand. So under deliberations there, it was moved by Commissioner Bennett. You left the last T off of my name.
I will correct that.
I appreciate that deeply. Thank you.
Okay. Got very, not that your name change isn't important, but I got very scared there for a second.
I just like to sort of needle you occasionally. I will
Hey.
otherwise move that we approve the minutes.
All right. We have a motion to approve as amended. Do we have a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Chair Wick?
Yes.
Vice Chair Safarian?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Gorder?
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Mendez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on, now is the time for introduction of additional agenda items. Planning Commission members may introduce items for discussion, but no action may take place except to place the item on a future agenda. Do members of the commission have any items to introduce?
No.
Seeing none? Were you, oh, I wasn't sure if I saw a hand. Okay. Would it be possible, not necessarily an introduction of a new agenda item, but to get an update on the rest of our specific plans and neighborhood protection plans? I won't ask you to speak to them tonight because I know that's not agendized, but just where we are with them, with the specific plans in the neighborhood and the neighborhood protection plans as well, because I know that there's a couple out there that are very imperative. I'm thinking like Golden State.
Sure. Chair Wick, yes, we can provide you an update. We are in the process of updating the city manager. We'll probably communicate that to the council. So when that document is available, we'll forward it to you so you'll have that update. As far as the neighborhood protection plans, I'll check with my counterpart, Assistant Director David Kriske in Transportation Planning, and we'll see if they have a general summary. We'll also email that to you as well.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you very much. All right. We will now adjourn to the Planning Commission meeting. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are there any city planner comments? I'm jumping the gun here.
No additional comments. Thank you.
Okay. We will now adjourn the Planning Commission meeting to Monday, March 23rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. This meeting will be held in person at the City Council chambers at 275 East Olive Avenue. The public is invited to attend the meeting in person or to view the meeting online or on television. The public will be able to provide public comment in the following 3 ways: by in person at the appropriate time during the meeting, by leaving an e-comment on the city webpage, www.burbankca.gov/e-comments, or 3, by calling directly to the Planning Commission meeting at 818-238-3335. Thank you all for your participation and have a good night.